Okay, so let us begin. As the course title is Structural Dynamics, you will expect me to begin the course by defining what do we mean by dynamics and how structural dynamics is different from the rigid body dynamics that you have learned during your course on applied mechanics. This is what is typically expected. But instead of that, what we are going to do is we are going to solve this problem first, and then we are going to come back to the question of what is structural dynamics, then what are the examples where you need to worry about the structural dynamics of the structures, so on and so forth. So we will come to the scope of structural dynamics, its definition little later. First we are going to solve the problem that I have jotted down on this board. Now it is my regular practice that I will ask one of you to unmute, so that we will go in the fashion interactive fashion rather than a one-way fashion. So therefore now I request, I see most of you have joined from the mobile. It is not advisable that you should join from the mobile. So I request, if possible, join from the laptop. Now, Satyam, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now let us begin by solving this problem, and let me first state what is a problem statement. So let us say that this is a rigid support. To this rigid support, you have a spring of stiffness K. So Satyam, can you tell me what is the unit of stiffness?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat the question?
What is the unit of stiffness K? इसका unit क्या रहता है? What is the unit? For example, the force has the unit of Newton, mass has the unit of kg. So on the similar lines, what is the unit of stiffness?
Newton per
Yes,
meter.
go ahead. Yes, so it is basically the unit of force divided by unit of length. So agreed, it can be Newton per meter, it can be Newton per mm, it can be kilonewton per mega meter, so on and so forth, whatever it is. It is unit of force divided by unit of length. So this is the unit of stiffness K. Can you tell me how do we define a stiffness of a spring? Linear spring. कैसे define करते हैं? What is the stiffness?
Sorry, sir. I don't know the answer.
Okay, so let me spell it out. So what do we mean by stiffness of a spring is the amount of force that you would require to have unit deformation of a spring. For example, let us consider this spring. If its stiffness is K, that means if you apply the force of K newtons, the spring in the direction of length of spring, the spring is going to get displaced by unity. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
For example, let us say if the spring has the stiffness of K expressed in terms of Newton per meter. So if you apply a force of 1 minute. So if you apply a force of K Newton here, so if you apply a force of K Newton here, the spring would deform by 1 meter is the meaning when you express the stiffness in terms of Newton per meter. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Suppose you express the same stiffness in the unit kilonewton per mm, same stiffness K, but you are expressing it in terms of kilonewton per mm. So what is its meaning? If you apply a force of K kilonewton now, if you apply a force of K kilonewton to this spring, then the spring would deform by amount 1 mm. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So K is what? K is the stiffness of the spring. It is defined as the amount of force that you would require to have unit deformation. In which unit you are going to take the deformation and in which unit you are going to observe the force, that depends upon the unit in which you have expressed the value of K. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there is, this spring is attached to a fixed support, something like a wall on left hand side, and on right hand side you see a element where I have written Means I have shown it as a box and I have written the name M here. So what does it mean? It means that it is a mass element. So this is a box of mass M. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So M can be expressed in terms of kg, it can be expressed in grams, it can be expressed in um, uh, megagrams, so on and so forth. So whatever it is, but M is M, you should have the unit of mass. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this M, I have shown there are wheels here. So what do I want to indicate by these wheels? By these wheels, I mean that there is absolutely no friction between the surface on which this block M is resting through these wheels. So therefore, this surface and wheel, they are frictionless. Both the surfaces are frictionless. That is what is implicitly said. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So as the block moves towards right or as it moves towards left, no friction will be experienced at the contact of wheels and the surface. Or in other words, coefficient of rolling friction is 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
We are still defining the problem. And why do we start with such a weird example that you will understand very quickly? Let us solve this problem first. Now what is the problem statement? In this one, I have defined my coordinate system in this fashion. As I know that the block is going to move along the horizontal direction, whether it is moving towards left or whether it is moving towards right, it is going to move along the horizontal direction, because I am going to apply all the forces on the block in the horizontal direction. Therefore, right now I am concerned with only one direction, and that direction I have called it as X. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Just like during applied mechanics, you would have studied rectilinear motion. In rectilinear motion, the motion occurs along a line. So you always call the direction along that line as X. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So in similar fashion, here also the mass is going to move along the horizontal direction. It may move in to and fro sense, that's all right, but I'm going to be concerned only about one direction, and that direction I'm going to call it as X towards right of left hand side fixed support is treated as positive. So I have chosen the origin. I have also chosen the positive X direction. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And then I have written something here. What is that? It is U of t. That's what I have written. To understand that, let us first understand what I am going to do with this block of mass M. Let us say I pull this block of mass M by a force such that it occupies the position which is marked by distance u0 from its mean position. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
जरा सारे चीजों के तरफ ध्यान से देखो. When the block is occupying this position, at that time the spring is neither compressed or nor stretched. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So at this position, the spring is neither compressed nor stressed. So the spring has its original length, and therefore this position corresponds to the unstretched or uncompressed position of a spring. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what will be the force in spring? Can you tell me? Spring में force क्या रहेगा? If the spring is neither stretched, it is nor compressed, what will be the force in spring? The force in spring?
0.
Yes. So only and only when the spring is either compressed or it is extended, or there is an extension of the spring, then only there is a force in the spring. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the position that I have shown on the left hand side here, this is the mean position. That means it is the position at which the spring is neither compressed nor extended. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now from this position, I take this block of mass M towards right by how much distance? By distance u0. Happy?
Okay, sir.
Uh, And whenever the block is occupying this position, naturally the spring is going to be stretched. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
It is going to have expansion. And what is the amount of expansion? Can you tell me? By how much
The,
amount the spring
the
has
expansion is by u naught
expanded?
distance.
Yes. So the expansion is u naught. Perfect. And then what will be the force in spring at this position? Can you tell me?
A into u naught.
You have to use right. And what is the direction of the force? Can you tell me?
The positive x direction.
No. In positive x direction, you have applied force, but this will won't it?
Yes, yes, sir.
Are you with me, sir?
Yes, sir.
You have applied external force by which you have taken this block M towards right through distance u0. But what is the consequence? What will spring do? It will try to pull the block back to its original or mean position. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, at this position, the force in the spring is going to be K times u naught, but it is going to be towards left. Happy?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the few basic things that we are discussing now. We have still not spelled out what is the problem statement. Now, problem statement is this. Let us say the observer starts observing the event, or observer starts observing the phenomena at the time when the block was occupying the position at distance u0 from mean position. So when it was here, observer started observing phenomena. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So it's like you are the observer, you have a stop in your, and you reach this site when the block has already been moved through distance u0 towards right from its mean position. Right?
So your voice is not clear.
Audible now? Hello?
Your voice is breaking.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Now am I audible? Okay. Let me switch to the other network. Just give me a second. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Your voice is clear.
Oh, okay. So when the observer started observing the phenomena at that time, the block M was already moved through distance u0 and it was occupying this position. So I'm going to call that instant when observer started observing the phenomena as t equal to 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Okay.
So what is equal to 0? T equal to 0 is that instant. Yes. Is there issue in my voice? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible, but there's still the issue.
Okay, just give me a second. Recording. Yes. So observer started observing the phenomena when block M has occupied the position at distance u0 towards right from the mean position. Now let me ask you a question. If I release this block M, that means I remove the external force that was required to maintain the block at this position. What is going to happen? How is this block going to move? Can you tell me?
So it's gonna move towards left side.
Yes, and then
and move further beyond the initial position U.
Excellent. So it will move further beyond mean position towards left, and then
And the spring will compress for
yes,
some distance and then
yes,
again come back to its initial position U.
yes, and then
And this to and fro phenomena will continue
for
for some time, let's say X.
okay. So very good. So most of you have observed how do structures vibrate. That's correct. The mass m is going to move to the mean position, then it will continue to move towards left, then the spring will get compressed, the velocity of velocity of the block will go on reducing, it will come to the rest, it will then start moving towards right again, it will again cross the mean position, it will move towards right, probably by the distance less than u0. It will keep on vibrating about the mean position for some time, and eventually it will come to the rest at the mean position. That's what you want to say, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and now how do we express this problem and how do we solve this problem mathematically? इसको mathematically कैसे solve करेंगे? So for that, I need to define something called as u of t. So what is u of t? U of t is the distance of block M at time instant t greater than 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
U of t is the position of this block at time instant t which is greater than 0. It will be positive if the position is towards right of the mean position. It will be negative if the position of the block is towards left of the mean position. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what have I defined? I have defined the position of block at random time instant t. It will be positive if the block is towards right of mean position. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And it will be negative if the block is towards left of mean position. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So this u, that is displacement or the change in this is the displacement of block from its mean position. It will be a function of time. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as time goes on progressing, u of t will venture to the positive, u of t will venture to the 0 value. Then it will go on negative side. Then it will again then it will again start increasing. It will again start approaching the 0. Then u of t will again become 0. It will go on positive side. Then it will start reducing, come back, so on and so forth. The oscillations will go on. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us try, even before solving this problem mathematically, let us try to plot this displacement of a block u of t as a function of time. So mind you, it is not u multiplied by t. As u is a function of time, it is the way in which we write u as a function of time. Are you with me? So in
Yes,
bracket
sir.
represents it is the function of time. T
Yes,
is
sir.
the argument for the function u. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how does this u of t look like? Chalo, let us try to sketch how it will look like. So when time t equal to 0, what is the value of u of t? Tell me.
0.
No, not 0. What is time instant t equal to 0? At t
Right.
equal to 0, the block has already occupied the position u0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So it is plus u0. So it will start from plus u0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And what does your experience say? When it goes on the other side, let us say when I release this block from here, it starts moving towards left. When it goes on the other side, will it go up to u0 or will it go slightly lesser than u0?
So slightly lesser than U0.
Okay, so till now everyone is bang on as far as the intuition is concerned. Of course, we have to show all this mathematically. That is the challenge. But we are trying to understand the phenomena. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this value is slightly less than u0. Do you agree with me? I will call this value as u and it will be less than u0. I will call it as u1, let us say. So u1 is slightly less than u0. Happy?
Okay, sir.
Now I am going to draw these two lines. So देखो, the block started from the position u0, then it came back to 0, it went back to u1. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
After this, it is going to start moving towards right once again. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So u of t will now go on decreasing and it will become 0. Now, it will continue to move on the right hand side of mean position. But will it reach u0? Will it reach up to u1 on the other side? Or will it reach e1 less than u1 on the right hand side?
Sir, less than u1.
Yes. So it goes to less than u1. Then e1 lesser than that. E1 lesser than that. Lesser than that. And eventually it comes to rest. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So the amplitude of to and fro motion goes on diminishing at some rate. We don't know what that rate is, but ultimately it comes to rest at the mean position. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And that mean position, we are going to call it, this is our origin. We are going to take our origin from this point. So mean position means at u equal to 0. Happy?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, let us try to solve this problem mathematically, and let us try to see if we are going to get this solution. To your surprise, I am telling you, even before solving the mathematical problem, you won't get this solution. And then we are going to look for the catch. ऐसे solution दिखना तो चाहिए. If you perform the experiment, you will see the graph something like this itself. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
But if you translate this physical problem into mathematical domain and solve for it, you are definitely not going to get this solution. Let us try to solve this. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. So when at time t equal to 0, the block was taken at distance u0 from its mean position. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now what I am going to do is I am going to consider any position of this block M intermediate to u equal to 0 and u equal to u0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is the position, intermediate position, and I am going to draw its free body diagram. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me what is free body diagram?
So,
Bolo.
a diagram where we show all the forces acting on a particular body.
Yes, but then why do we call it specifically as free body diagram? So जो नाम है उसमें उसका मतलब है free the body from all external agencies and show what the external agencies must have been doing is called as free body diagram. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
So free the body from all external agencies. I want to free this block from all external agencies. What is the first external thing to this block that comes to your mind? Earth. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Earth is external to this block, no doubt about it. So if I free the body from Earth, what should I do? I must show what the Earth must have been doing on this block. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So Earth was pulling it towards its center of mass by the force mg. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So the first thing that I am going to show on free body diagram of this block is the force exerted by the another body Earth on this block, which is equal to mg. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What else is external to the block? Is this ground external to the block?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I must show what the ground must have been doing. This ground must have been applying an upward normal reaction on these wheels because it is a frictionless surface. The reaction cannot be offered in this direction. The only reaction ground can offer is in upward direction. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So that reaction I am going to call it as N. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What else is acting on this block? Tell me. Is there any other force?
Spring,
Pardon?
spring force. Force of
Yes.
spring.
So therefore, This free body diagram I am drawing at time t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Which is greater than 0. Time t is greater than 0. So when I release this block from at time t equal to 0, it starts moving back, and I am going to take a snapshot at a particular interval of time t. At that time, the block was occupying still the position towards right from its mean position. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, its distance from the mean position was u of t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So for simplicity, I am going to call it as u now. I am going to drop the argument. U is a function of t, therefore t is called as argument of u. I am going to drop that argument so that we can write it in a simplified fashion. So when I say u, you have to understand that this u is a function of time. Happy?
Okay, sir.
And what is u? U is the position occupied by the block with reference to a mean position at time t. Happy?
Yes, sir.
It is also the extension of the spring. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And if u is negative, it is also the contraction of the spring. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the spring force? Tell me. Spring force must be equal to k times the extension. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Okay.
So it's going to be k times u, which is a function of t. You have to understand u is a function of time. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Is k a function of time? No. Stiffness is not a function of time. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So we are dealing with the system where the stiffness is not function of time, but of course its position u, position of the block, is a function of time. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And why do I show this force towards left? Because even though the block has started coming back, at this position it is still on the right hand side of the mean position, and therefore the spring has experienced expansion. So spring will try to contract. In the process, it will try to pull the block towards the mean position. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore this force will be equal to k times u of t. Of t I have said in my mind. I am not going to write it. Do you agree with me?
Okay.
Now, is this free body diagram complete? Have we shown all the forces acting on a body?
Yes, sir.
Yes, but when you deal with the free body diagram in dynamics, you also show its acceleration. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
We also need to show its acceleration. In statics, the body is either at rest or it is moving with uniform velocity. Therefore, there is no necessity to show the acceleration. In fact, the acceleration does not prevail. But in case of dynamics, you must show the acceleration as well. Do you agree with me?
Okay, sir.
Now, I really don't know a priori. I don't want to make any assumptions whether the body is moving towards left or towards right, whether it is accelerated towards left or whether it is accelerated towards right. What I'm going to simply do is I'm going to assume that its acceleration is towards right. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
This is what I assume. If at the end of analysis I get a negative sign, that means the originally assumed sense of the acceleration was incorrect. ये तो आप हमेशा करते हो, जैसे आप applied mechanics में reaction के senses assume करते थे, and at the end if you have got the negative sign, you would say that the originally assumed sign is incorrect. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
वही करने वाले हैं यहाँ. We will assume that the body is accelerating towards right. If it is accelerating towards right, why? Because I want to have this acceleration as a positive quantity in my mathematical formation. उसके लिए मैंने ये assume किया कि it is moving towards right. You can as well derive the same expression by assuming the acceleration towards left. It's all right. But right now I'm using this assumption. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the relationship between acceleration and position? Tell me. Yes, Satyam.
Sorry, sir. I don't know.
What
Don't
is
remember.
no. Okay, let me ask you in a simple words which you are acquainted with in mechanics. If I say S is the position and A is the acceleration. So what is the relationship between S to A? S and A. The relationship travels through V. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is velocity? Velocity is the first derivative of
Distance.
position. No, don't say distance. Change position. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
This is velocity. And acceleration is the first derivative of velocity. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So is it the second derivative of position?
Yes, sir.
Would you agree with me on this?
Yes, sir.
Now, typically in dynamics, whenever the differentiation is taken with reference to time, we denote it by notation dot. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is S dot? S dot is the first derivative of position and it is nothing but velocity by definition. ये mechanics है. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And what is acceleration? It is the second derivative of displacement and we denote it by S double dot. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, here, instead of using the letter S, I have used the letter U. So what will be the acceleration? Can you tell me? Won't it be U double dot of T?
Yes, sir.
Of T, that means U double dot. Acceleration is also a function of time. It is not constant. Therefore, T is its argument. I will drop the argument and I will simply say it is U double dot. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
Now, tell me, can I apply Newton's second law on this system? Newton's second law का statement क्या है? जरा बता सकते हो? Yes, Satyam. Go ahead. देखो, algebraic sum of all the forces acting on a body. तो इस direction को हमने बोला है x direction. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
और इस direction को हमने बोला है y direction. Algebraic sum of all the forces acting on a body in x direction must be equal to mass into acceleration of the body in x direction, provided that the mass remains constant throughout the time. And in this particular case, the mass is not a function of time. Do you remember this statement of Newton's second law?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So summation of all the forces in x direction. Can you tell me what are the forces in x direction?
KU and U double dot.
U double dot is not a force.
Sorry, sir. KU.
KU. Do you agree with me? So the only force in x direction is KU. And is it in positive x direction or negative x direction?
Negative x direction.
So I will write it as minus KU. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the mass of the block? Mass of the block is m. What is the acceleration of the block? It is U double dot. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
And as U double dot is in positive direction, I am going to simply say that as plus mu double dot. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And interestingly, what is the equation that we get? Mu double dot
Plus
are you
KU
agree?
equals to
Plus Ku has to be equal to 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And now mathematically, a simple looking problem in physics mathematically has translated itself into a second order ordinary homogeneous differential equation. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
What is that we are looking at? We are looking at the quantities like u of t. So what is the position of this block after 5 seconds from releasing the block from u0? If that question I ask you, then I must be in a position to write down the equation of u as a function of time. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So how does the position of mass change from u0 to other positions from time 0 to 2 t seconds? ये पता होना चाहिए. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
Second question I may ask you is what is the velocity of this block 5 seconds after it has been released? So therefore, I will also be interested in something called as u dot of t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
There may be another question. What is the acceleration of the block when 5 seconds after it has been released from U0? If that is the question asked, I must be in the position to write
Double
down
dot.
the expression for U double dot of t. So in fact, these are called as motion parameters. ये आपने mechanics में भी किया है, पर थोड़ा सा अलग sense में किया है. We are interested in finding out position, velocity, and acceleration. Are you with me? Position,
Yes, sir.
velocity, and acceleration of the block at time t, which is greater than 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
These are the things that we are interested in. Why are we interested in finding out position, velocity, and acceleration of the block? So let me give you a simile. Let us say this block represents a building. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And this building has been displaced to amount U0 due to some dynamic load like wind or earthquake. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
I'm giving a very crude example, but then this building will keep on vibrating about its mean position. So as the building vibrates about its mean position, you will not only be interested in knowing its displacement. Displacement तो पता चलना चाहिए. क्यों पता चलना चाहिए? Because if there is an adjacent building, we want to ensure that the two buildings do not collide during the earthquake. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, we must be sure that the displacements of both the buildings are in such a fashion that there is no collision. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is called as ponding of buildings. If they collide, then that is called as ponding of buildings. So we must keep track of what is U. Second thing, why should we keep track of velocity and why should we keep track of acceleration? So I will give you an example of acceleration. Let us say that is a hospital building which has a CT scan machine. These instruments are very sensitive to the accelerations that they are subjected to. The acceleration should not, ground acceleration should not exceed beyond a certain limit so that these machines remain functional. So if such a building, we must ensure that in the event of earthquake or any other dynamic load, the acceleration is kept within check. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So there are multiple reasons to which we will come back little later. But we are always interested in finding out position, velocity, and acceleration of this mass m. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, so with this idea in mind, now what remains is how to solve this equation. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
How do I solve this equation is the question. Now I am going to ask you the question. If it is a second order differential equation, how many boundary conditions do you need to solve this equation?
2.
Yes, if it is a second degree equation, if it is a second order differential equation, not degree, I'm sorry, if it is a second order differential equation, you are going to need two boundary conditions. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And what are those conditions here? So, जरा देखो यहाँ पे at time t equal to 0, can you tell me what is the displacement or what is the position? U of 0 is U0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So at time t equal to 0, U of t, that is U of 0, is U0. The block started from position U0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, at time t equal to 0, what is the velocity of the block? Tell me. It starts from rest because I am going to keep the block at U0 and then I'm going to release it from there. So at start, what is the velocity? 0.
U dot of 0.
But U dot of 0 is 0 because in this particular case, the block starts from rest. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So in this particular case, I am going to say U dot of 0. As you said, its notation is U0 dot. And in this particular case, it is 0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the two boundary conditions which are known. Your solution for U of t, U dot of t and U double dot of t will involve these known quantities. That is U0 and U0 dot. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let us try to solve this differential equation. Don't get too much carried away by the mathematics involved here. It is really a simple mathematics. Once you understand this, probably this much is the mathematics that you will require in the entire course. So एक ही बार समझना है. It is not that difficult. Are you with me? I am
Yes.
not asking you to solve a partial differential equation. It's just an ordinary differential equation. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do we solve these equations? So that also I do not expect you to solve. I am going to solve it. So how do we solve this equation? So typically, if you look at this equation, the right hand side is 0. In such cases, k and m, they are not functions of time, they are constants. So therefore, in such cases, a typical solution looks something like u is equal to a e raised to st, exponential form. This is a typical solution for this, believe me. So is solution mein unknowns kya kya hai? We have two unknowns, a and s. If I am able to express this a and s in terms of known quantities, I have got the solution. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, chalo. So what we are going to do now, we are going to substitute this value of u in u of t in this differential equation. Are you with me? So can you tell me what is u dot of what will be u dot? इसका differentiation क्या होगा बताओ? as
A-
e
AS
raised,
e to power ST.
right?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree? What will be u double dot of t? इसका
AS square
as square
e power ST.
e raised to st. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now what we have to do is we have to simply substitute this here. It's very easy task. So I'm going to substitute this here. So what do I get? M
AS square
as square e raised to
ST.
st. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Plus k times as e raised to st. Oh, I'm sorry. A e raised to st. Do you agree with me? This is equal to 0. What I have done in place of u, I have substituted a e raised to st, and in place of u double dot, I have substituted as square e raised to st. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, do you see some term common here? Yes, e raised to st is common. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So e raised to st into what should I write? M
AS square
a s square
plus
yes,
KA.
plus k a equal to 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. चलो. So अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. This a is also common. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So it is something like this. A e raised to st is ms square plus k. Happy? Are you with me? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Recording once again. Okay. So now, can a be, a is a constant. So therefore, it is going to cancel out. On the right hand side, you have 0. Are you with me? Saksham?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
sir.
So now, if this equation has to hold good, you have only two choices. One, e raised to st has to be equal to 0. Happy? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Or ms square plus k has to be equal to 0. ये दो ही choices है. इसमें से you can see that exponential is never going to be 0 unless this st is minus infinity. But st cannot be minus infinity. It is not possible because t cannot be negative and s as designed cannot be negative. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, this is not a possibility. This will not happen. So only one possibility, ms square plus k equal to 0. So can you now tell me what will be the value of s? S will be plus or minus square root of k by m. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now I will substitute this value of s in this equation, in this solution. So what is my solution? U is equal to a e raised to plus or minus square root of k by m.
Okay, bye.
Are you with me? Times t. Happy? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now I have to make use of both these solutions. So if s is equal to plus root k by m gives me one solution, s is equal to minus root k by m gives me another solution. If I add two solutions of the differential equations one into the other, the resulting sum is also a solution of differential equation. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore I am going to write the general solution for u in this fashion. Zara yahan pe dhyan do. E raised to root k by m times t. This is the first solution. Plus, I am introducing a new constant now. B e raised to root k by m. Happy? Times t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
You can, for your understanding, you can substitute this value back here in differential equation. You can find out u double dot and you will see that this differential equation is satisfied by this solution. Are you with me? This is minus. By the way, just have a look here. This is s square is equal to minus k by m. So it is going to be plus or minus square root of minus k by m. But square root of minus 1 is I. Do you agree with me? Saksham? Because I is equal to square root of minus 1. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have to introduce I here. So it is a complex number. So my plus root k by m ti or minus root k by m ti. Are you with me? Saksham?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just give me a second. We are almost coming to the end of today's session. Don't get carried away by the complexity of mathematics. The result that we are going to get is going to be much more fun to deal with. So we are not interested in these steps in between. These steps are routine mathematical steps. I am giving them for completeness, but we are more interested in the solution. So now tell me, what is e raised to I theta? Can you tell me what is e raised to I theta? Is it cos theta plus I sin theta? Do you agree with me? Saksham? Unless I get your response, I will not be able to proceed. So Saksham, do you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Sir, your voice is breaking.
Oh no. Am I audible now or not?
Yes, sir, audible.
Saksham, am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Phi theta is equal to cos theta sin theta. Do you agree with this definition?
Yes, sir.
Saksham?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now substitute this back here. So this root k by m, I am going to call it as omega. What is this omega? We will see a little later, but I am going to call it as omega. So I will replace seen as a e raised to I omega t plus b e raised minus I omega t. Saksham? Saksham, are you there? Can you unmute yourself? Please keep yourself unmuted. Satyam, can you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please keep yourself. Don't waste too much time. I'm just asking whether you disconnect or not. We are wasting a lot of time. E raised to omega t plus b e raised to minus I omega t. Yes. Can I write it as, look at this definition. Can I write it as cos omega t plus I omega t?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And can I write this b as,
So your voice is not clear. Means it's breaking in between.
it's breaking or is it clear now?
No, sir, it's still breaking.
I don't know what is the problem with the net. Satyam, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir. It's clear
Oh.
now.
Yeah. So we are almost to the end of today's class, but let us complete this first. So b, what can I write this? E raised to minus I omega t. So it's like writing e raised to minus I theta. So it is nothing but cos of minus theta, that is nothing but cos theta minus I sin theta. Do you agree with me? Because
Yes,
sin of
sir.
minus theta is minus sin theta. So can I write this as cos of omega t minus I sin omega t? Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And by the way, let us not use different constant here. Let us use the same constant a itself. So I will write it as this. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
1 minute. So then this becomes a. This is also a. Chalo. Now if I take a common, what remains within the bracket? Cos omega t plus cos omega t. It is going to be, oh no, sorry. That earlier was right. I'm very sorry. Let it be b. So now, if I take a common, if I take cos omega t common, cos omega t,
A plus B.
it is going to be a plus b. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And if I take plus I sin omega t common, it is going to be a minus b. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. I am going to call a plus b as one constant, and that a plus b I am going to denote it as c. So it is going to be c cos omega t. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Plus this I sin omega t, I am going to call it as another constant, and that I am going to call it as d. And then I get it at, sorry, this
Sir,
I a
minus.
minus d, I am going to call it as another constant, and that is d. Then I get the solution of this format. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
U as a function of u is equal to c cos omega t plus d sin omega t. Now, how do you get the values of c and d? So you have two boundary conditions. Two boundary conditions are this. At t equal to 0, u of 0 is u0, and at t equal to 0, u dot of 0 is u0 dot or equal to 0. If you substitute these two boundary conditions here, you will get two equations in c and d. You will solve for that, and you will get the solution for u and solution for c and d. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this part we are going to do next. So now this was the mathematical treatment given to the problem. This is all right. There is no concept involved here as such apart from the solving the ordinary differential equation. Tomorrow's lecture is going to be more fun because we are now going to try and interpret the results. We are going to check if this graph of u of t looks like what we expected, and if not, what is the reason that it doesn't look like this. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is what we are going to do in the next class. Today we are going to stop here. So in nutshell, today we started with a simple problem. We did not discuss what do we mean by dynamics, how rigid body dynamics is different than structural dynamics, what are the uses, or what are the examples, real life examples where we are going to use structural dynamics. We have delayed that discussion a bit. First of all, we are going to solve this problem tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to interpret the results, and then we will come back to that question. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
So for today, we are going to stop here. What you can do is you can write down your PRN number and name in the chat box, and then you can leave the meeting. अगर किसी को आज के डिस्कशन में कोई डाउट है तो अनम्यूट करके पूछ सकते हो. Otherwise, I am going to stop for today.